Hey, welcome home. Sorry for the delay. Technical difficulties. It is what it is. Welcome to Wednesday. We are live at 6:04, and it's good to see you. Welcome home. James Brewer Calvert, pastor at First Christian Church of Decatur in beautiful Georgia. It's a lovely day outside. Betty and I just took a nice walk and got back just in time to have technical difficulties. Good to be with you. We'd love to have you post and say hello. If you've got a joy or a concern, feel free to share. We'd love to see it and find out how you are doing. Our topic for tonight is science and spirituality. So if you would like to comment on science and spirituality, feel free. It's a free world, and God is a big God, and there's a big love out there. So feel free to chime in and share. One word before we do our topic for tonight, that this is week 52 of 601 Wednesday. This is the 52nd or so check-in. We started 1 year ago on March 12th. I decided with a consultation with our church leadership that we would cease group gatherings at First Christian Church of Decatur on Sunday, March 15th. We had our first virtual worship service, and it was nobody in the sanctuary. It was just broadcasting on Facebook. And then on Wednesday, March 18th, Anna Strickland, who is now Anna Brewer Calvert, and I posted our first live 601 check-in. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey, and you've been there all the way through, and it's an honor to be your pastor, to be with you through this pandemic, through this change, through the growth, through the loss, and through the joys. We are here today together by the grace of God. Our theme for tonight is science and spirituality. There's something we say in our church. We say, don't check your brain at the door. Don't check your brain at the door. When you come into the presence of the holy in our congregation, we fully expect everyone to use their heart, their soul, their mind, and their strength. That these are gifts of God. God gave you a brain to use, so use it. God gave you a heart for love, so use it. Strength and spirit. Use them all. Body, soul, and mind. So we invite people to encounter the holy at the intersection of faith and reason. There's a lot that happens there. There's a lot of juice. There's a lot of loving action at that intersection of faith and reason. A year ago, we were getting ready for our annual panel discussion on science and spirituality. Y'all remember, it got canceled. I know everybody's been thinking about it. It got canceled, and I'm so sorry. But we are bringing that panel back. Now, this is the probably the fifth time we've done a science and spirituality conversation live. We've done them in person, of course, in the sanctuary, and now we're going to be doing it on Zoom. We've covered a variety of topics. We've looked at addiction. We've looked at creation. We have looked at gender identity. Our panels are varied and diverse. We invite people from Emory University and Columbia Theological Seminary and Candler Theological Seminary, people from Agnes Scott College, folks from the community who are professors of science, professors of theology, in the business world, folks who are laity, folks who are clergy, and every year we have a very varied panel. My favorite was the year we had a Buddhist, a Jew, and a Christian, all scientists and all people of faith. And I said it sounds like a joke. A Buddhist and a Jew and a Christian walk into a panel together. We are not afraid to explore and to deal with questions of science and spirituality. Isn't that what creation is? Isn't that who we are? We are made up of atoms, and we come from Adam. We love the ages of rocks and the rock of ages. It's a blessed gift to be people of faith who also use our minds, who are not afraid of delving into and digging into the questions of life, coming at them from intellectual and scientific questions, as well as from the perspective of faith and spirituality. One of the differences between science and spirituality is a tremendous difference, and it's really fun to explore. In science, everything is measurable. You can measure, you can quantify, you can dig into how many and how long and how deep and how wide. You can measure whatever it is you're exploring. So the questions are what questions, and how questions, and where questions, and when questions. Those are good questions to ask. Spirituality, questions of faith, questions with God and questioning of God, the questions are always why. Why? Why is this happening? Why is this going on? Where is God in this experience? Why is this going on in my life today? Why is this happening to us? And so at that intersection of faith and reason, we find that clash of questions. And that's brilliant. That is so much fun to dig into and to explore those together. 1 week from today, on Thursday, a week from tomorrow, on Thursday, March 18th, we are hosting our annual Science and Spirituality panel. Of course, we're doing it alongside the Atlanta Science Festival and the Gentle Spirit Christian Church of Atlanta and the First Christian Church of Decatur. The three of us have co-hosted this event for many times, so it's going to happen next Thursday. If you want to come, participate, it's going to be on Zoom, and you have to pre-register by Monday. Go to the Atlanta Science Festival website, scroll down, look at the calendar, you'll find us. Can't be hard to find. There's only 3 things happening on Thursday, March 18th. We're at 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock. It's 1 hour. There's already 40 people pre-registered. So if you want to get on board, jump on it. Registration closes Monday night, the 15th. So please do register. We'd love to see you. The panel this year is going to be exploring the questions of love and quasars, which is a book by Paul Wallace, who is both a theologian and a physicist. I believe he's an astrophysicist. He teaches at Agnes Scott College, and he's a minister at First Baptist Church of Decatur. He's wonderful. He's brilliant. His book is designed for young adults who have questions of faith and science, of science and spirituality, and exploring where they are in this journey. Also on the panel will be Dr. Jillian Hue, H-U-E, and she is a behavioral scientist at Emory University. She's marvelous. She's a lovely soul, and I can't wait for you to meet her on the panel. Also on the panel will be Pastor Paul Turner from Gentle Spirit Christian Church. And rounding out the field will be Brad Riza, who's a retired colonel in the Air Force, from the Air Force. He's an amateur astronomer, and he was recently featured in the film Nomadland. That's right, Nomadland. If you saw Nomadland and you saw Frances McDormand go through the Badlands, she goes to a night show, and an astronomer is talking about the stars and how we all have stardust in our hands. That is Colonel Brad Riza, retired. He's also my wife's sister's husband's father. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I'll be moderating the conversation, and it's going to be kept to 1 hour. Now, I was going to say one more thing about this, and that is that the real juice of these events is always the questions and answers. And I wrote down some questions that we've had asked before. And the questions come from the people with a capital T and a capital P, the people. And here are 3 questions asked in the past. Number 1, I'm a medical doctor. I have an intellectual approach to life, yet my heart is full as well. Is there a place for me, for someone like me, who is both a thinker and a believer? That's good. Is there a place for someone like me who's both a thinker and a believer? I am a Christian and a scientist, but how do I talk with my fundamentalist parent who refuses to acknowledge evolution? And then a question that comes from all of us: how do I talk with my family or my neighbor who thinks so differently than I do? And the last but not least, I grew up in a mosque that only deals with matters of faith. Now I am a biologist, and my colleagues only deal with matters of science. How do I reconcile the two? We all have questions. I want you to bring your questions. Bring them to worship, bring them to God, bring them to your pastor, bring them to your friends. Raise your questions. It is in the questioning that we find the holy. Let's see who's checking in with us. Stayed beyond the challenge of the technology. Allison and Barbara, hello. Ruth, good evening. Quinn, Peter Umbaugh, hello, hello. And Juanita and William, love you all. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your patience. And thank you for your questions, your questioning. It is in the wondering that we find awe. And it is in the awe that we find God. More power be to you. May you be blessed. I hope to see you on Sunday. You take care. Good night.